Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the sky. You know it makes me feel good. Well, I love a rainy night, such a beautiful sight. I love to feel the rain on my face, taste the rain on my lips. In the moonlight shadows, showers wash all my cares away. I wake up to a sunny day, 'cause I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night. Ooh, ooh. I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the sky. You know it makes me feel good. Well, I love a rainy night, it's such a beautiful sight. I love to feel the rain on my face, taste the rain on my lips. In the moonlight shadows, put the song in this heart of mine, put a smile on my face every time, 'cause I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Ooh, ooh. Showers wash all my cares away. I wake up to a sunny day, 'cause I
just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy, they wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
All right, folks. Happy birthday to myself. It's been a heck of a day running around. I'm Chris Heidel. That's Adam Rise and Matt Trecanelli. We got a great show for you on a Wednesday night at 8:30 because I want to celebrate my birthday for everybody, with you guys. We got a great show lined up for you tonight coming up here. I'm a little out of breath because I had to run downstairs. I left my phone. We got the winner of the Delaware Classic. If you watch the Professional Bowlers Tour on Sunday, this gentleman won his first PBA title. And Adam and Matt, there was a lot of backlash from this thing. It's like, why is there a lot of backlash? Because he's not Kyle Troop. He's not.
Well, that's my question. Well, why is there a lot of backlash? Why are people upset with him winning his first title?
I'm not upset. Trust me. I think it's kind of cool to see a first time winner, so I'm very happy for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I think it's great to have him too. And he won his first title, and and everybody remembers the first title, just like we had Danny Wiseman on a week ago on our program, and he won, back in 1990 on March 3rd, and you still remember it. So.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. He's called actually watched that, on Sunday. And
Yeah. So let me dial him up here, guys. Let's see if he's available. So hopefully David is available. Hopefully this.
Hello.
Hey David, it's Chris Heidel from Hagerstown Radio in Baltimore. And Adam, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Congratulations on your big win on Sunday. You're live here on the Sports Talk with Chris Heidel on my birthday. So thank you for joining me on my birthday. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I decided to do a big birthday show, so I was going to let you join in because that's a good achievement you did on Sunday. So let's talk about the first match you bowled against Bill O'Neill. You guys had to go into overtime. So what was the key to that match against Bill O'Neill?
I messed it all up. Going to the 10th frame, if I double in the 10th frame, I win. If I fill 17 pins, I win. The first one, I struck in the 10th frame. The second one, I went through the face and left a big O split. I left the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, and get 3 pins to make Bill double to beat me.
Right.
Get 2 to make him double to beat me. 1 to force a tie if he goes strike 9 spare. But if I double the 10th frame, I win automatically. Of course, I do not double. I go through the face, I split. In my head, I'm like, okay, just get 3, move on, put all the pressure on him. And I threw it really bad. The nerves got to me, and I just kind of got nervous. And my spare ball kind of hooked a little bit, and I took 1. And I had 203.
Right.
And gave him a chance to double to beat me. Luckily enough, he got the first one, and then the second one, the 10th, he 10-10. He picked up for us a tie. And I think that's where it all happened. And then me being the higher seed, I was able to elect who went first and what lane we started on. And, of course, I was not going to touch the left lane because it was trashed. And I didn't have a really good look on it.
Right.
So I elect to go first on the right lane, and I get up. I throw one of the best shots I could have in that moment with all the nerves and pressure going on. Measured the 10-10 out. It got hype, got the crowd into it, and sat down. And luckily, I was able to scoop by that match with Bill leading a 2-pin.
Yeah. Well, you move on to the championship match against Tomas. We have him coming on around the 10 o'clock hour. So, if he's in Finland right now.
Yeah.
Well, what's it like bowling against somebody who was an international bowler? Because a lot of people who are international bowlers, they bowl better. Like Adam, you agree with this? They bowl more than we do. It's more their job. Like we here in the States, we have other jobs. Like I work at Home Depot. Adam works at a supermarket. Matt works with people who need education and jobs. But you have another job probably supporting it. But after this win, you probably don't feel like working anymore, right? You feel like you want to be on tour all the time.
Yeah, I don't feel like working, but for health insurance reasons, I need to work. So, we came back Monday. We drove straight through, and I went to work Tuesday. It's like we just got back to the grind.
Right. Were they your place of business? Were they really happy for you? Did they show?
Oh yeah, they were over the wall, excited for me.
Nice. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about that match because I was on Facebook with Tomas and I hear all this backlash about why World of Sports is going on here. You win your first title, it should be something positive. Why is all this backlash? To me, it's like so what? To me, you won a title. It's great.
Yeah, it was just so much controversy on how it all happened. I mean, the normal bowler just doesn't know what to expect when they get to TV for the first time. They expect everyone to shoot 250 for their first title and to throw every shot perfect. Well, that's just not how it all played out.
No.
I got breaks along the road. It just seems like people are expecting me to be like, hey, you got too many good breaks. Let's give the title chance to Bill. He deserves it more than you. No. I knocked over the most pins. I won the roll-off. I was put in a situation for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give Bill a chance to do this. I'm not going to give my chance a do-over to throw it better.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that. No one would do that in that situation. I think anyone in their right mind would be like, okay, I won. I'm going to go to the title match and bowl for my first PBA tour title. Like, no one else in their right mind would be, like, upset with how it all played out. I'm not defending myself in any way possible because I don't need to.
No.
Like, I'm a PBA champion at the end of the day.
And the good thing is you don't have to do that 16-hour drive to wherever you have to go another time. You're already set to be in the this year, the rest of the year, and in all these tournaments. You won a title, so you don't.
Yep.
So you paid your dues. You drove the 16 hours to Milltown, Delaware, and you basically went from Monday to because the Adam, the PTQ used to be the old Rabbit Squad.
Yes, it sure was, Chris. That's right. That's right.
In the 80s, because some guy named Randy Peterson, who you saw on TV, won the AC Delco Classic in 1986 as a Rabbit Squad winner.
Yep.
So, it's pretty cool that you did the same thing that Randy Peterson did. And, and to me, I feel like you paid your dues. Now you got an opportunity to show the world that you could win more titles. And God bless you, dude. I know you're having a great season, and this is a critical of your season right now. And you feel probably on cloud 9 right now. Like, you feel like you're flying around your work going,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But when the next stop you got to go to, are you invited to go to the Masters?
Yeah, I got into enough to get into the Masters. So.
Awesome. Adam, you got a question for Dave?
So David, so 2 questions for you. First of all, how cool is it to be interviewed by the one and only Kimberly Pressler? And 2, how cool would it be for you to go to Akron, Ohio at the end of April to participate in the Tournament of Champions at AMF Riviera Lanes?
Yeah, so going to the first question with Kimberly, it was awesome. I mean, she's like Miss America, which is incredible.
Yeah, Miss USA,
Having her interview me with not Rob Stone, but Randy Peterson and the other commentator, sitting down and talking to them, getting to know them, and tell them my story and have them listen was honestly amazing. Because I sat with them for about maybe 20 or 30 minutes and told them my whole story about how I came to bowling, my whole nickname, and stuff like that. So they knew me. So that was really cool. The second part of going to Akron for the TOC, it's going to be a dream come true. Because there's so much history in that building, and I don't have to bowl the PTQ for that event, which is, thank goodness I don't have to, because that PTQ is rough.
Right.
The fact that I get to bowl that every year now for the rest of my bowling career without having to go through a pre-tournament qualifier is honestly amazing.
Nice.
Just so much history in that building with the PBA, and I hope that week leads some magical stories. Like, it'd be sick to even make match play at TOC my first time.
That's cool.
So,
David, I will see you in Akron, Ohio for the TOC in April. So looking forward to finally meeting you in person.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, Matt, short question, real quick, because we got everybody lined up. We're a little behind here tonight, so we got to get going.
So what was it like? What was it like? What was it like, and how did it feel getting that first win?
It just felt truly amazing. I think that's the best word that I can use right now. It's just truly amazing and a dream come true. I mean, I dreamt of this as a child growing up, like watching Walter, Parker, and Norm on TV every Sunday, bowling to win a title, watching like the PBA, the Denny's PBA Tour, the Motel 6 Roll to Riches. I watched all of those growing up, and the fact that I got to live that dream on FS1, there's kids watching that show and be like, wow, I want to do that too. Maybe not the way that I did it, but they want to be on TV winning their titles too. And just to be able to live that situation and possibly be someone's dream to do that again is just insane. It's honestly amazing, and I couldn't ask for a better week to do it. Just leading the PTQ, taking Tommy Jones to 7 games, taking EJ Tackett to 7 games, and then going in a roll-off against Bill O'Neill. Like, it was a story well written.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'll let you go, but thank you so much for coming on tonight, and thanks for being part of my birthday show. And keep up the good work, man. Okay, and we'll hope to talk to you again this time.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
Another time. Okay.
Yep, anytime. Just let me know.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. See you, man.
Yep. Happy
All right,
birthday.
Thanks, bud. See you.
Bye-bye.
What a beautiful story.
Yes. I mean, yeah, it's called like this. It's called like this, Chris. When I was a kid, I had a dream of going to see the PBA Tour. And now look at me. I've achieved my dream. So all of you watching out there, if you have a dream about
Dad and I have done the same thing. I grew up watching Saturday afternoon on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour. Yeah. My mom said bowling was my daycare because she put me right in front of the television, and I was imagine if I was so glued into the orange bowling ball, going down the lanes. And ever since then, I was like, I wanted to bowl. I even go around the house here sometimes. My girlfriend thinks I'm nuts because I keep on saying bowling. It keeps on rolling, read
so what? I mean, you're living
my life, and I love it.
I mean, when I tell people,
and I know he's just a rookie and he won his first title. He could be somebody down the road. Remember, we talked to him on my birthday back in 2024 when he won his first title in Delaware. Mm-hmm. And it's a cool thing. So, all right, let's move on here. We got a lot of stuff here for my birthday show. I try to get people who I know who to celebrate my birthday because I'm 43 today, and let's bring this next guest. He's a good friend of the show. Matt and I did some games for him years ago for Coppin State baseball, but he's on WNST now doing the games. Their games are on WNST, and our good friend Nasty Nestor. We hope he's doing a great job with the broadcast. So let's bring in Coach Reed, he was supposed to play today against Navy, but something to call a rainstorm washed everything out. So Coach, thanks for joining me on my special night here for my birthday. So what have you been up to today since I gave you a call this morning?
Chris, thank you. Appreciate it, man. And again, happy birthday. Look, man, you were interested in Coppin State University baseball when nobody else was. Way back in the day, you'd come set up shop and broadcast the games, and forever, man. We appreciate that. We really appreciate it.
Now it's on a good station, and Nestor does a great job, and you guys get your games out there. I know he doesn't do all the games, but he does enough to get some of the games out there in the Baltimore market.
No, we really appreciate it. Yeah, it was a tough day today. I had hoped to come on and talk about a victory over the Naval Academy, but that didn't work out, man. The rain, Mother Nature did not assist us today. In fact, we've had 2 back-to-back midweeks. Last week, we lost the opportunity to play my good friend Greg Ritchie down at George Washington. We postponed, and now new coach Chuck, first year at Navy. We weren't able to get on the field to play them today. So a little disappointing, but we're getting ready for conference play on Friday.
That's cool. And it's home at your place, or you have to go on the road?
We'll be home. So we got Murray Mack coming here down from Boston. They should arrive sometime tomorrow. We do have a little weather interference scheduled or forecasted for Saturday, but we'll find a way between Friday through Sunday to get in 3 games, even if we have to go a double hitter one of those 2 days.
Yeah. How about the facility down there at Joe Cannon Stadium? Did you put artificial turf down there?
No. You know what? I really appreciate the county and the great people that own Maryland Live. I think that was part of the deal, that when they got approval to build that big casino down there, that they were going to invest in recreation and parks for the county, and they held up to their bargain. And the Cornish family was the main deep pockets that put that turf in there at Joe Cannon Stadium. And I'll tell you what, man, it's been a big hit for the kids to play on a facility like that. It's also helped our recruiting as well.
And that ballpark has a lot of history because my brother Will, who is, I don't know if he's watching, but he won a state title there back in 1996. So I remember the stories all about, I drove all the way down to Hanover, Maryland, and They won because that's where the state tournament was for a while until they
that's
moved
correct.
to Aberdeen, or whatever they're doing now. So yeah, it's a great place, and I'm glad they are investing in their money to fix that facility, because it's a very nice facility, and it's really cool when it's behind hotels, and people don't really see it off the road, and they're wondering where is this thing? I'm like, where are you?
Look, many people have driven by that complex, lost, can't find it, but like I said, with the way that whole entire area has grown, particularly with the hotels, the restaurants, the shopping, and that nice large shopping mall over there on the other side of the street, it's made for a must attend destination for the traveling away teams. They love coming into Hanover.
Yeah, well, I was looking at your schedule, and you played. The first time we tried to get you on was I think before your first game of the year against Creighton, and they took you to the woodshed right away. Wow.
They beat us up pretty good.
Nothing. Is that a football score, folks? I think that's a football score. Yeah. Geez.
No, look, it was when we look at the makeup of this year's team. With the portal, the new challenges of the portal is that you're going to have a dozen or so more new kids to the program every year. And this year is probably one of the biggest turnovers in terms of personnel that we've had in the last 4 or 5 years with the veteran team, that we lost many to graduation. But then we got them in game 2, and we had a chance to walk off with a win with the runner 90 feet away and a tie score, and we weren't able to punch them in. So we came back and played a really, really good competitive game in game 2, and really should have had that win. But, that first game, there was a lot of butterflies going through that locker room as a lot of kids were getting their feet wet. And they got Christian for the first time at the Division I level, and it took us a while to get our feet under us.
Exactly. Matt, are you around, dude? Do you have a question for Coach?
Yes, Coach. So since you guys are starting conference play, what are some things you guys are doing good and need to work on?
Yeah, when we really look at when you look at all the local teams, we struggle early. And a good bit of it is Mother Nature and not really having the opportunity to take advantage of great weather here up the Northeast. So if you look at all the local teams, whether it's Navy, Towson, UMBC, Coppin, we all struggle early until the kids really get in the groove of non-stop and non-interrupted baseball. But we're looking forward to Merrimack. I think that the 3-game series against St. Pete was really a good 3-game series. Each of the 3 games were decided by 2 runs. We got the back end of the 1 win. And Merrimack, we had their number last year, our opening series as new members to the Northeast Conference. We went up to Boston and swept Merrimack to open the season with a 3-0 record in a new conference. So I'm sure that the coach has got that on the back burner, and those kids are going to come here for revenge. So we're looking forward to a really good competitive 3-game series to open up the 2024 Northeast Conference schedule. I think our guys are ready as well. Like I said, we got 6 games under our belt now. We've kind of now have discovered the lineup. We played a lot of guys early because of the number of new guys, and I think we've now settled in with a more stable and fixed lineup. So we're looking forward to this weekend.
Adam, you had a question for Coach?
So Coach, I'll talk about the transition going from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference now to the Northeast Conference in your second year.
Yeah, and the difference is obviously the pitching. There's a lot of deep pitching in the Northeast Conference. Our first year, we were really proud when we look at the 4 teams that left the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference to move to the Northeast Conference. We were the winningest team of the 4. We got to 21 wins. which was really a good starting point for us last year in the new conference. But the difference is again, the pitching is a little bit more talented. Guys tend to do a lot more small ball, really good coaching. But the biggest difference is just the pitching. Teams go a little deeper in their bullpen with talented arms than we were previously familiar with in the MEAC conference.
Cool. Well, Coach Reed, let me let you go. We're up against the time schedule here because we got so many people want to come on and for my birthday show. But thank you so much for being a good friend of the program. And
absolutely,
we'd love to have you on middle of March to see how everything good is going on. If you guys do want to watch them, they are home against Merrimack this weekend. First game is Friday afternoon at 3, and then they got stuff going on Saturdays and Sunday if the weather is good around here. So go to the Coppin State website to see what's going on. So thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Very good. Chris, Adam, Matt, appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Chris, have a good birthday, man. I hope you wrap it up strong, man.
I will.
Have fun.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
Now.
I'd say bye.
Coach.
All right, that's Coach Reed, who's a good friend of ours here on the program. Coming up at 9:45, this guy, I was doing some research, Matt and Adam, before we get Coach Mason on. This guy won a PBA title when I was 1 year old.
Ooh.
Yeah, his name is Hookin Handley, and we all know about Hookin Handley.
Yes, from Pompano Beach, Florida. Yeah.
Yes, and he here's his title winning match against Storm DeVincent back in 1982. And look at the uniform, dude. Like the old Pete Weber uniform.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and they called him the sniper because of the way he rolled the ball. Yeah. So Bob Handley will be on at 9:45 on the phone with us from down in Florida. It'll be an awesome interview to talk to a guy who, when I was a kid, was 1 year old. I had no idea who the professional bowler was. Yeah,
now you do.
Yeah, now I do. So we'll get him on. We're just going to turn the page here. There's a brand new team, folks, in Hagerstown, Maryland. We had the GM on a month ago. Now we got the new field general, and this guy is a familiar face to the Atlantic League guys. He spent a lot of time. He had won 600 wins up in York, Pennsylvania for the Revolution. Now he is trying to build a expansion team. So it's going to be very cool to see him in Hagerstown this summer. So let's bring in Coach Mason to join us here on the show. Hi, Coach. How you doing? Thank you for coming on my birthday edition, and thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Chris. My pleasure, and happy birthday to you, Adam. Good to see you, Matt, as well. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So talk about the when did you get an opportunity to come to Hagerstown? I know you spent a lot of years up in York. You took over for Etchebarren. Did you take over Etchebarren before he moved on?
I did. Yeah. When I first came to York in 2010, I was Etch's pitching coach. And then Etch's last year managing was 2012, and my first year managing was 2013.
Okay. So just talk about coming to now going to Hagerstown, taking on a totally new expansion team. They're building a new stadium for you, getting everything all ready hopefully for April. So what's the challenge like to build and put a team together, knowing that you're the guy who puts the team together, and you work with David and the GM David, who hopefully is tuning in tonight right now with us here. What's the process like, getting ready for a new team?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me say David and Chuck and Mary, everybody I work with down there has been fantastic. It is a challenge with a first year club, but there's also a lot of excitement with that. Everything's brand new, so there's going to be some learning curves for sure. But when we walked in, when I came into it, we had 2 players from a dispersal draft on the roster, and right now I'm happy to say we have a lot more than that. So we're moving along. We've been announcing players now for the past 3 weeks. You're always looking to improve your roster, but we have a good mix of former major league players, AA, AAA players. So it'll be a little bit of an older group of players, I think, than when the Suns were down there. So I mentioned that to the fans and everybody at the beginning when I was announced, and so we're just building it and trying to find a few pieces here and there right now as we get near the end of recruiting to get ready to start booking all the travel and get the guys into Hagerstown.
Yeah, Coach. I was looking at your bio, and it talked about the Frontier League, and that's another independent professional baseball league. So, for people who aren't familiar with the Frontier League, talk about what it was like to be there.
Well, the Frontier League, I spent 9 years there. When I first started in that league was back in 2002. With the Washington Wild Things, who at the time was also a first-year franchise. They moved from I want to say Canton, I believe. It's been a long time, but I think they relocated from Canton. So it was brand new to Washington, PA. So this is really not my first opportunity with a first-year franchise, but that league is a little bit younger. There are classifications with the amount of rookies you have to have, active every night. And then there's some experienced players, a few veterans, where the difference in the Atlantic League, we don't have any classifications like that. We could sign 26 former major leaguers if we want to and run our roster that way. So every independent league, in my opinion, has they have a niche. The Frontier League niche was always for younger players. The American Association was a little bit older. And then the Atlantic League was the most experienced players that were available. So when you're dealing with classifications, it's a puzzle. You have to have only so many of each classification. You can't have any more. So it's going to be a little bit younger, a little less experienced league. But, the Atlantic League, if you were rating them, it would be Atlantic League AAA, American Association probably AA, and Frontier League probably high A now after their classification changes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I got a question for you. When you spent your time up in York, what was it like playing for a team that was basically the Orioles minor league team back in the 60s or in the 50s when Brooks Robinson was there? What was it like, playing baseball in that rich city? Because I feel like York and Lancaster is a very good place for baseball.
Well, look, the fans were incredible in York. I still live in the area. I live maybe 6 miles, 7 miles from the ballpark. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of great relationship there, a lot of respect for the ownership groups that we had over the years. But it's a passionate baseball town, and Lancaster is the same way. So we have the War of the Roses between the Revs and the Stormers, now no longer the Barnstormers. And those were always fun. They were a lot of fun for the fans. And the thing about it, our fans would travel there if we were out of town and vice versa. So it's a lot of people in the area that love baseball. And when the two teams are on the same field at the same time, it was a lot of fun over the years. But it's a passionate fan base. When you're doing well, they let you know. When you're not doing well, they let you know. But that's all part of the territory.
Exactly. And you got the last question.
Yeah.
Okay? Or Matt, or who has the last question? Who wants the last question? That's the question.
Well, I can ask one. I can ask one.
Okay, go ahead, Matt. Matt's somewhere here in the
Right, Matt, go for it.
Yeah, hear his voice. Go ahead, Matt.
Yep, I am here. So here's my question. So since you went ahead and had the Frontier League, and now you are going ahead and on this adventure with this other new league, how has that transition been smoother for you?
Well, when I started in independent ball, my first job was in Atlantic City, which was the Atlantic League. So that was my first independent experience was there. Then I went to the Frontier League and then spent, basically 13 seasons in York. So I think this year would make like year 15, 16 in the Atlantic League, something like that. So up until this past year, from 2010 through 22, all of my time was in the Atlantic League with the Revolution. So I'm very comfortable in this league. I have a lot of great relationships here. And it's, I know the league. That's the easiest way for me to explain it. I know the league. I know what to expect. It's nice to go into places and everybody's general manager, the familiarity, the clubhouse managers. Of course, Rick White, the league president, I've known him since he came into the league. Let's put it this way, I'm very comfortable. And, Frank Bolton, of course, with Frank, he was the owner of the Atlantic City team when I started there. And, Frank's, of course, very, very prevalent in this league and, has been around it, founded it. So, it's also fun to be back working with him as well.
That's cool. Adam, you get the last question.
So you mentioned the rivalry that you were a part of. So talk about how cool was it to be a manager of a baseball rivalry?
It's always fun. I think because of the amount of turnover that you have in independent ball, because of the clubs change, sometimes 50% or more the rosters from year to year. Even sometimes during the season, you might turn your roster over one time. So I think it was more the fan bases got into it a little bit. The players did too, because there was a cup involved, So anytime you can win a trophy, you're always going to, it kind of get you up for it a little bit. But the rivalries are great. And, this year Hagerstown opens in York, which that'll be fun for me after being there for a lot of years. And we also open, we're Lancaster's home opener also. So we're going to be part of 3 home openers this year, 1 in York, 1 in Lancaster, and then our own. So I'm looking forward to all of it, getting to see a lot of people I've known for a long time, and should be a lot of fun.
That's cool. Well, Coach Mark, thanks for coming on tonight, and good luck with the process, getting the team ready to go. And I'll probably, hopefully, with my schedule, I'll try to come out and see one of the games this year. I'm only like, an hour, 2 hours away from, I'm in Cockeysville, so it's not that far. So, make a good, make a road trip out there. But good luck with all the stuff, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Happy birthday, Chris.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Mark Mason, who is the manager of the Hagerstown Flying Box Cards. Let's bring in this guy. He is he took over for a Met legend, I gotta say, up in Long Island. But he played for him he was a player coach with Wally Backman, but now he's the man with the keys of the Duck franchise. So let's bring in Lou Ford on the program. Hi, Coach Ford. How you doing?
Hello. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming on the program tonight here. Just talk about you being the man up there on Long Island. I'm from Long Island, so I'm from Oceanside, New York, so I should know all about the Ducks up there. But just give people a brief few notes of where you guys are up in Long Island, and you took over for Wally Backman, who basically he's doing something now.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know you were from up here. It's a nice area. So yeah, we're here in Long Island. I'm very excited to be the manager here. We have a long history of winning and having some great players and great managers too before me here. You mentioned Wally Backman. He's a very smart manager. Was a great mentor to me here the last couple of years he's been here, and I'm honored to take over after him. Because he could be managing in the major league somewhere. He was that good, so I appreciated everything that he did. And the first year I was here as a player. I've been here over 10 years now, and the first year I was here as a player, Gary Carter was the manager.
Oh wow!
So there's a very good company, and I'm very honored to have this position here this year, and we're really looking forward to it.
I gotta ask you a Gary Carter question, because Gary's my idol, and I grew up idolizing him as a kid growing up on Long Island and moving down here to Maryland. What was he like being a manager? Because I know he was very he loved the game. He loved working very hard. He loved to run after plays. You see videos over time that there was one of them that he was behind home plate in Montreal. He went down the first base line, and then somebody was coming around third. He ran back home and tagged the guy out at home. And he just loved the game of baseball. What was it like? What was his passion like being a manager?
I'd say that carried over. I mean, my memories of him are that he always had a smile on his face, and he always had a great attitude, and whatever it was and whatever we were doing, and he was just a joy to play for. He's definitely a player's manager, and I'm very, very honored to have played for him here.
Cool.
I was he I don't know how many years he ended up managing, but we did a great job here. I think we went to the playoffs that year and everything. We did a great job, and just always positive. Loved throwing batting practice.
Nice.
He had a strong arm. He would get up there in batting practice and fire some heat at you, and he loved it. But
Nice.
he just loved the game.
Yeah. Well, you spent some time in Baltimore. We're here in Baltimore. So what was it like playing for the Orioles for a couple of years? You were here for, what, a season or so, like a little cup of coffee with them, but you did get a couple home runs. Not bad, against some guy named CC Sabathia. He had a home run that one night, and I found the video. Yeah. I found the video for you. We're playing it right now.
I would say the Orioles, that was a great time, actually. It was 2012. They picked me up actually here from the Ducks.
Okay.
At the beginning of that year. And I was in AAA for a couple months, and they ended up calling me up, and we were in the playoff race. Came down to the end of the year. We ended up making the playoffs as a one-card wild card there at the very end, and end up beating the Rangers in that one-game playoff, and play the Yankees in the divisional, and it was it was really beautiful. I think there was, I don't know if it was 10 years. It was a long time since they had made the playoffs before that, and the fans were just amazing.
Wow.
The stadiums were packed at the end of the year. It was really a great atmosphere, and I still get fans from 2012 that'll come out to the games, and they still remember it, and they still appreciate everything. So it was just a fun time with them, the Orioles.
Cool. Adam, you got a question for?
So I saw that you also played professional baseball in Japan, and we all know how popular baseball is over there. So what was it like playing in Japan?
You can see now a lot of these Japanese players, they're coming to America. I think more and more of them, and having a lot of success. Obviously, the big name is Ohtani, but there's a lot of them that are coming over, and I kind of did the opposite, went over there, and they love baseball over there. That's number one. I think it's probably their most popular sport, and they pack stadiums, they get tons of fans, they love it, and they got really good players. Obviously, you can see the guys that come over here and have success. So there's really good competition. there's definitely a language barrier. That's a tough language to master, I'd say. But baseball is baseball on the field.
Yeah, it's true. It's the same language everywhere you go. Yeah, you got 3 outs, you know, and you got single,
Hey,
double,
Chris,
triple.
I have one more question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Okay, Coach. So, since you played professional baseball in Japan, did you ever get a chance to play in the legendary Tokyo Dome?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of that.
Go ahead, Adam.
I said, did you play in the Tokyo Dome?
Oh, the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, I did. That's the Tokyo Giants is the team over there. They're kind of like the Yankees of Japan, and we actually played a preseason game against the Red Sox in the Tokyo Dome, which was pretty cool. You know, they had David Ortiz and everybody over there. Yeah. But we played a game against them. It's a bandbox. There's no doubt about that. It's a homer dome, but I think David Ortiz hit one off the roof or something over there. It was crazy, but yeah, that place gets loud and it's a lot of fun. They get a lot of fans over there.
That's cool. Matt, you got a question for Coach Ford as you're out there?
Yes. So, Coach, what did you learn from Gary?
From Gary when I was a player? Just have fun, enjoy the game, and work hard. You know, he's a very hard worker, as you can imagine. You know, work hard, get your work in every day, stick to a schedule, enjoy it, and you know, when the game's on, just give it all you can there and trust yourself.
Yeah, I just loved him when I was a kid growing up because he was so, he played the game the right way. He wasn't like, him and Pete Rose, he played hard, he played, I heard stories, when he passed away, I talked to Steve Rogers, his pitcher from Montreal, and he goes, well, the reason why they put me on home plate because he almost killed himself in left field during the spring training. He ran so hard, he ran into the fence. I was like, oh, jeez. He's like, yeah, and the manager of Montreal goes, all right, Carter, we're going to put you behind home plate because we want you to stay around longer, and we want you to be here in the ballpark instead of being in the hospital every 5 minutes. And I'm like, wow, because he played the game hard, like we just were saying, and he played it, nonstop, tough, hard-nosed, loved the game, and I think he forgot sometimes you need to slow down a little bit,
Yeah, you can't tell him that.
No, you couldn't tell him that. No,
his golf.
Yeah, and his golf game was great. I met him twice down here in Maryland. He was for the Ken Singleton golf tournament, and the first time I met him, his golf bag was falling off the golf cart. So I'm sitting here interviewing him, and I put my foot out to save his clubs, and he looked at me and goes, "All right, dude, nice save." I was like, "I know." He goes, "Good job." And then, I saw him 4 years later. He looks at me and goes, "You're the guy who saved my clubs on this golf cart a couple years ago." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nice to see you again. How are you doing?" I'm thinking oh my God, my idol knows me. This is awesome. I'm just one of those I'm like, you want to call it a girl moment, when they get all flustered, So I'm interviewing him, and after I was done with him, I took a walk around the golf course behind where the people buy the golf bags and all that stuff, and I called my brother, and I was on the phone screaming at him, and he's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I was like, I just interviewed Gary Carter, and he knew me, and he's like, "Slow down, dude, slow down." Yeah, wow. Yeah, but see, that was pretty cool, man. My idol knew me. Yeah, that's the greatest thing, the greatest thrill in the world, that your idol who you grew up watching knows who you are. That's great.
Well, that's what's great too about Gary Carter is he really is a down to earth guy. Mm-hmm. He's a great guy, and you get a little awestruck. I was a little bit too playing for him, but every day he's the same guy. He's just a normal guy. I mean, it makes you feel very comfortable.
Exactly. Well, Coach, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. I know you're getting ready for the season, and spring training is going to start soon for you guys. But beginning of when do you guys start? Middle of April? Or
we start at the end of April. We'll have a spring training in the middle there.
Okay.
And Yeah, come out and see the Ducks.
Yeah,
There's a lot of teams down in that area.
Yeah, I'll try to stop by and see you when you're in Hagerstown or York or Lancaster or where or Southern Maryland. So whenever I get a chance, I'll stop by to see you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much for coming out today.
Happy birthday. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Coach.
Well, hey, Chris.
Yes.
So, well, hey, what was it like to interview your idol? How did that make you feel?
The first time I was there to meet him, I was very nervous. Very nervous. Because here's the guy I grew up watching as a kid. Number 8 for the greatest team in the baseball in 1986, the New York Mets.
Yeah.
With the greatest arms, like my dad taught me how to hit like Gary Carter.
Yeah.
And shout out to my father. I know they're down in Jamaica right now, on vacation. I don't know if they're watching what they're doing. But I'm sitting there and I just, I'm sitting there, oh, it's time for him to come off the golf course. He's, and all stuff, he's in his bag. And I went up to him and I know my arm was shaking. I knew it was, I was like, Chris, calm down. It's just Gary Carter. And I go, hi, Mr. Carter. I'm Chris Heidel from, what we're doing. I said, can I interview you? And he's like, sure, come on over. And I'm thinking like, all right, I'm interviewing my idol, my idol. This is cool. So I interviewed him and, I don't know where the audio tape was, but I think it's somewhere, it's my parents' house or something. And then I saw him 4 years later and I was like, I couldn't believe he remembered my name. He goes, hey, are you the guy? He didn't know my name, but he knew who I was. And I'm thinking like, this is awesome. He knows who I am. So I asked him, like, can I interview you again? And he's like, sure, come on over. So him and I sitting there, and Will told me on the phone, he goes, why can't you just get an autograph with him? I was like, dude, having an audio interview with him is better than an interview with an autograph. And you probably know for the fact with stuff that you met over the years. And then it gets better, Matt. 2 months later, I go up to Cooperstown, and we'll bring in Coach Tyner here in a minute. Went up to Cooperstown, and they bring all the Hall of Famers out. And I had my Met hat on, and I tipped my cap to him. He looks at me and goes, what's up, buddy? How you doing? I'm like, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, Gary, how you doing? He's like, how you doing, man? He's like, nice to see you again. I'm like, thanks for coming. He goes, I said, no problem. I'm sitting there going like this.
Nice. Wow, that's awesome.
I felt when I went to see the PBA Tour for the first time in Indianapolis, Indiana in 2015 for the TLC, because when I walked in, I was like, when I talked to all these, when I talked to Tom Clark and everyone else, I was like, okay, Adam, calm down. You're here. Calm down, Adam.
Adam, we get really starstruck with this guy coming on next.
We do.
We really do. We get starstruck. He is a Miami Hurricane great. He still, I don't know if he still has the home run record down there in Carl.
Well, I mean,
he might, but I had to, this is a Florida State show sometimes, but I do have to bring on a Miami Hurricane because
I
got respect to you. I have to, because the U is the U. So we're bringing Coach.
Hi,
Coach. How you doing?
Here's the U.
Doing fine, you guys. How are you?
Not bad. Thank you so much for coming on the birthday edition of my show. And I first, when I put this together last week, I was like, I need to get him on because he's such a great person, a great friend, and I want to have people who are my friends on my show.
Well, happy birthday. It's 42 for you. Is that right?
43. So not 40, bad.
43. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, trying to keep you young, Chris.
Hey,
Coach, he's getting up there in age now,
I felt it this morning. No, anyway. My niece
Once you cross the 40 mark, it's all downhill, brother. It's
okay.
Thanks, Coach. I'll be 43 in November. Thank you for that.
You're all right, Adam.
Coach, it's like City Slickers. One line that Billy Crystal has. I told people this the last couple of days. It's like when you're 30, you're happy, you're excited. You're 40, you're getting a little old. By the time you get 50, you're like, turn down the music a little bit, you got to watch City Slickers. I got to get that line down perfectly. But my brother goes, good point. That is a valid point there. When you get older, everything gets louder and you're like, turn it down.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother.
But
I don't turn it down. I turn it up. I still
I
love
know
my
you do.
music.
You do. Yes, you
Loud
do.
and proud. And it doesn't matter what genre. I'll take it wherever I can get it. And if you're ever at one of my ballparks, wherever I'm managing, I'm gonna play it loud. So
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I love it. Well, we need to get a win this week, and can you give me a birthday win on Friday? Because I know Yale is a tough team coming to town. I know last week you had NC State on the ropes, the first game, and the bottom of the ninth, walk off, and you're like, oh god, again. And then like next day they were like, thanks for playing. We're gonna run you out of town. Have a great day.
I think they flexed their muscles a little bit on Saturday. I told our AD, he goes, man, great job. And I was like, hey, thanks a lot, but we didn't win, so don't tell me thanks.
I know.
We strategized as a coaching staff, and we came up with what we felt was our best shot was on game 1 and game 3. Game 1, they had just come back from Hawaii, so we figured we'd throw Max and Justin Reebok at him, and then close it with Bobby Spencer. I mean, Bobby's last outing was phenomenal. I mean, he was at about a 70% strike rate. He was about a 40% swing and miss rate. So, I mean, all the stars were lining up, and we scored that run in the top of the 9th. And I'm like, all right, these guys are dazed. All we got to do is just get 3 outs. Well, we walk a guy, we hit a guy, we get the bunt down, then we walk, and then of course Lanphier goes oppo for a base hit, but it would have scored a run even if we caught it. So we shot ourselves in the foot that day. The scoreboard read 1 error. We made 3, and it was 3 good ones. Double play baseballs that could have been turned, and we missed Casey Bishop a little bit. I mean, he's a starting shortstop. He's not with us anymore. He broke a bone in his forearm. So we did all that damage in North Carolina State that day without our starting shortstop. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. And that's part of your offense. You got that bat not in the lineup, and you have people who are trying to find the hole. Yeah,
that's our leading hitter from last year. Yeah. So he's the catalyst. He kind of sets it up and gets it going. So he's sorely missed. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks, and but Jordan Payton, played his tail off and did the best he possibly could. So, I'll give it to you straight, fellas. North Carolina State's pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you almost had a chance to knock him off, that would have been what a great headline for ESPN. Towson knocked off NC State, and I was hoping that was going to be like one of those I'm at work watching this on my phone and going, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, this might be a good way to talk to coaches. It'd be hard to get on the show because I got to get on them now, because if he beats NC State, Channel 13 will be calling them, Channel 11, Channel 2. It's like, but and those walk-offs, it's like, I've been there my whole life playing baseball. It's like you just want to go home, put your head in a pillow, and cry, and get up the next day and try again.
Well, I mean, the same thing at Wofford, right? I mean, you beat Wofford on Friday night, opening night, and you've beat one of the top 50 teams in the country. So I think they're 10-2, 11-2, something like that. So, we've had our opportunities. Could have done the same thing opening night at FAU. We were in that game until we aired ourselves out. So you're right. We need a couple big wins against Yale. We are evenly matched. So this will be a little bit more our speed. So, let's strap it on and see what we get. And hopefully we get some good weather to play with us a little bit.
Exactly. And get this losing streak over with, so you can start a new one, like a winning streak. I look at the schedule in fifths because we play 56 games. It's pretty easy for me to go 11 at a time. That's 55. Plus, that means you're either, if you play 11 games, you've got a winner or a loser. If you play 10, you can tie 5-5. Well, I'd rather know if I'm up or down. So we basically PP'd down our leg and started off 1-10. So our guys, but realistically, as I shared with our guys, we maybe would have been 3-8, 4-7. Okay. That makes it more palatable, but you're still getting your ass handed to you.
You know what I mean? Or you're beating yourself. So I said, let's take that 11, shove it over here. Let's look at the next 11 and let's play them one at a time, just like we did this time. And when we're done with this 11, let's see where we stack up. See if we're headed in the right direction, because it will include the first weekend of our conference series, and we'll go from there. And they're like, yeah, the one good thing I got about this club is they're mature. They understand the mistakes they're making, and they're working their butts off to try and, correct them. And they're old. A few of them know this is it for them, right? So we'll be prepared on Friday. I can tell you that much, both mentally and physically. The next 11. So you can coin that phrase if you want, but that's where we'll be, and that's why we're looking forward to taking the field against Yale on Friday.
And plus, here's the other thing: is these are non-conference games. You really want your conference games to be better, because that's where your bread and butter is. You want to go down to Wilmington, North Carolina, and play, in the CAA tournament, because that's what your goal is. And then all of a sudden, if you win that, you go play somewhere in a regional somewhere.
This team reminds me of my 2012 team, which started off slow and then gained a little bit of traction, then kind of slowed back down. And then about midway through the season went like this and put together like 6 and 8 game winning streaks where, we still crept into the conference tournament that year as a 6th seed, which I don't care how we get in there. I think we've got the firepower. I mean, Elliot Avant pulled me aside and said, who's number 12? And I said, Elijah Dickerson. He said, quite possibly the best hitter I've seen come into Raleigh.
Wow.
And I said, yeah. I mean, he had 4 balls. I mean, Bryce Frederick hit 4 balls on Sunday. Every one of them were over 100. Elijah Dickerson went 3 for 4, and every ball he hit was over 100. So it wasn't like their pitching was killing us. It was that the 6 foot 5 inch third baseman, the 6 foot 235 pound first baseman, 6 foot 4 catcher, 6 foot 3 right. They're huge, man. I mean, huge, except for the speed spots. Center field, second, short. They're ultra quick there. I mean, this is a good North Carolina State team. They're pretty good.
Right.
I would put them up there with Wake Forest last year.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's going to be – they may not have the arms that Wake has, but it's going to be fun to watch them run through or run into the ACC. I'm not going to say they're going to run through it because everybody's subject, but, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, it's cool that you guys play these ACC schools, because when we get a chance to go down to the ACC conference baseball tournament, I could bring you on and say, hey, I've seen Virginia. I have seen North Carolina State. We played them. They're, at the time they were limping in, or they were coming off from Hawaii or whatever they went to. And, and a lot of people should use you as a little analysis, because you are playing these teams right now. And a lot of these teams, when they get into March and April and May, might be different. And you say, well, we saw them when they were just growing to become good, and how they look pretty well on the field.
Well, we'll play Duke, Virginia, and North Carolina State this year from the ACC. And, those are 3 good teams. I mean, those are 3 top 20 teams right now. And, it's the interesting thing about baseball. And I was talking with my old pitching coach, Blake Nation, about it, who's with the Milwaukee Brewers now. And he goes, this is the year where it looks like anybody can beat anybody.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true, Coach. Oh, yeah.
I said, you're exactly correct. And he goes, why do you think that is? And I said, man, it's baseball.
Yeah.
I said, Blake, you play a professional game where there are 162 games. And you can't tell me that the bottom team can't beat the New York Yankees, because they always do, right? But yet the people just accept that. But when LSU loses, or Virginia loses, or Arkansas loses, people, they want the coach fired.
That's true.
This ain't football, fellas. I mean, we're playing 56 of these.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I agree with you.
Time out. Yeah. Push the pause button. Talk to me in May.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit more palatable, I think, for baseball fans. Yes, it hurts that night. Trust me. I'm sure Brian O'Connor didn't appreciate getting beat the other day. And I know, there's only a handful of undefeated teams out there right now. So but the game continues, man. The bad thing about we don't get a week to go home and sulk and prepare it's game on to the next day, so let's roll. It's kind of like, that's why when you hear people go, baseball's the best game because it prepares you for life. Well, they're right. I mean, guess what, Chris? You got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So do you, Matt. So do you, Adam. I mean,
Yes, sir. I do.
So if we got a bad show here tonight, suck it up, Junior. We're getting back to work, and we'll come back and we'll do it again the next time. We'll try to do better, right?
That's right. That's right.
You guys all agree. There's a 24-hour rule. You're still pissed off for 24 hours. The next day when you get up, get breakfast, and it's a brand new day. Yeah, let's get going.
True.
Yeah.
I subscribe to Paul Maneri's rule, and Paul was a good competitor of mine when I was down in Miami. He was at Dade North, playing for his father. But when he took over Notre Dame, he pulled me aside. I was at Butler at the time, and I was like, "Man, how do you do it?" And he goes, "It's pretty simple, T." And I go, "What's that?" And he goes, "You can be mad, you can be pissed, you can be you can be just irritated until midnight.
Yep.
And then after midnight, that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
You got to flip the script, bud. Because if anything carries with you that next day, then you're not maturing. You're just not maturing. And we need you to mature. We need your best effort that next day." And I was like, "Oh, you got a point." So 11:59, when that baby hits midnight, new dude, new day.
New day.
That's it.
Exactly. Man, I know you're dying for a question. Go ahead, bud.
Well, yeah, Chris, I've been dying for the past 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You're standing up, walking around. So go ahead.
Coach, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And so thanks again for coming on our show tonight. So, and I know you guys wanted to beat North Carolina State, and having that walk off against you guys, what did you learn from that game?
Well, we tell our guys every day, day in and day out, when they throw in the spikes, we're all equal at that point in time. Now, we may not be equal at the end of the game, but at the beginning of the game, hey, we're out here. We put our pants on just like you did, pal. So let's strap it on. Let's go play. Let's see what happens, right? So then afterwards, Matthew, we have to give a summary of what we saw, or we wouldn't be good coaches, right? Mm-hmm. So we can't shoot ourselves in the foot anymore, nor can we throw a non-competitive pitch, because when we're throwing a non-competitive pitch, it doesn't matter if we're throwing it against North Carolina State or Coppin State. I mean, they're going to hit it, right? Yeah. So when we summarize post-game with our players, we've all agreed, hey, man, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming to you with some information. And this is just to help us get better, So, and it is. I don't berate anybody anymore. Those days are over. This is just an exchange of information. Bobby Spencer had a bad night, but I'll throw him out there again on Friday if his elbow says okay, Yeah. But I mean, the dude's throwing upper 80s. He's got a mean cutter. That 1-2 pitch he threw to Lamphere was center cut. Well, he didn't try to do that. It just happened to be there. But hey, here's the deal. When we call for a fastball in the 3 zone, which is outside, by God, you got to get it out there. And you especially got to get it out there with North Carolina State. You know what I mean? So,
I loved when I was playing, Coach. I loved it when the pitcher threw a meatball. Yeah. And it's like you could tell it was a meatball coming right to the plate, and he made a mistake, and you're like, "Oh, you're sitting there going, I want this bad boy," and you want to knock it out.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there waiting for it. Yeah.
Sure. And their hitters are that well disciplined, and they're very, very good. So but he had done what he needed to do. We're close. That's why I love college baseball, though, too. I love college baseball because it's not as perfect as Major League Baseball. Not everybody gets the bunt on, not everybody, but I've seen wild pitches in big leagues. I've seen errors in shortstop. I've seen errors in center field. I've seen people drop fly balls. It's just that it's more common in college baseball.
Yes.
So, that game had been moved from 3 to noon, and there was still 1,000 people there.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, and it was just action packed, and now we're, now we got a little shot. So what I tried to teach our guys from that was, hey, put that feeling you guys had of what it was like to be in that game in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And you keep that in a nice little envelope tucked in your back pocket, because when it happens again, and we have already been there, it's our turn to come out on the other side.
Yeah.
So that is that's the wealth of knowledge that you learn from a game like that, in that as long as you're in it, then sooner or later it'll turn your way.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
And also, I just got one more question for Coach. And from the first game of the season to now, what level of growth have you seen your team?
Well, that's a great question. And from my old man's perspective, there are a lot of teams that would have this in the tank right now. They would say, we're done. Spring break is right on the corner. I may even be, I may not want this anymore. I can tell you right now that the intensity that we had at practice yesterday and the intensity that we had at practice inside today, that's unmatched. Mm-hmm. These guys are not, this is one of those groups that may shock some people. And I've said this all along. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, I don't think I am. This is one of those groups that have used this 1-10 start to do this, to grow together and get tighter and to depend on each other and to love on each other a little bit more, because we've shared the wealth of mistakes all the way down to the coaching staff, man. Right. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. So to see us all kind of, okay, let's put our work clothes back on Tuesday and let's get back out there and we didn't leave the field yesterday until 6:15. It was dark.
Nice.
We're chatting it up, man, in the dugout, going, hey, we know where we're at. We know what we got to do. Got to keep even keeled and go from there. And then we got rained out today, so we're inside the day. Everybody's getting a little bit of work going on, doing their thing. Boom, wrap, we're out. So I think the maturity level of this team is probably the best I've ever had. And I love the way that they've handled this start. And gosh, whenever I get so optimistic, it normally bites me in the ass. But I would think I might not want to be Yale on Friday.
Yeah.
I might not, they've got some pretty good arms coming at us. We understand that, but there's a little bit of canned frustration that if these guys get untracked and they get rolling, it's going to be a thing of beauty. It will be really nice to see. And they're deserving, man. My team is deserving of a little bit of baseball bouncing their way.
Right. Exactly. And you have one more.
So talk about the bond, that you guys have had, getting to know each other, on all these away games, and how that has affected you so far.
Well, and that's a great question too, Adam. And if you don't think that I purposely planned 3 road trips in a row a year or two ago, you're sadly mistaken, because I just feel like there is a wealth of growth that only happens on the road. Mm-hmm. And if it needs to happen, it needs to happen on the road, and it needs to happen early.
Yes.
And if you can accomplish both of those things, win a few more ball games than one, obviously, then boy, you are really positioning yourself in a good spot for the rest of the season, because you split your conference game weekends, right? 5 at home, 4 on the road, whatever, 4 at home, 5 on the road, so we play 27 games. So going on the road right now, Adam, has helped us get to know each other.
Yeah.
And when you begin to know each other, then you can build some trust. And if you can build some trust, then you can build respect.
Yes.
And
Yes.
from that, I think good teams are built from and built out of, you know. So it's there to, most of the guys don't sleep with their friend. You know, we put a new guy in that room so they get to know that guy.
There you go.
A little bit more about his hometown, about his mom and dad, what he likes, the whole 9 yards.
Cool.
And it just, see, it makes more sense then, right?
Yes. Yes, it
That's
does.
why you travel early on, so that bonding process that you speak of actually takes place, you know, and you can build your team from that. And so far they're so good, man. I mean, these guys they're like brothers to one another so far. So it's been good to see.
I believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, good luck on Friday and bring home a win for us. So we'd love to have one.
Hey, we will do our best, as we always will. But yeah, I think John B. Sherholtz is going to be rocking on Friday.
Nice.
It's our home opener, so we are ready to go. I know everybody and their brother will be there for us. It's a 2:00 start. Try to make it out if you can. Happy birthday, young man. Glad
Thank
to
you
see
very
that.
much.
And Matthew, always a pleasure. Are you back in town now? Or last time we talked, you were in Florida?
No, I was actually we were in Delaware last week.
Well, where was Matt?
Matt was
I was in Delaware as well.
Oh, really? I thought you were in Florida. My bad.
We might go.
Well, Coach, well, I wish I was in Florida. I wish I was probably in that nice, sunny, warm, well, not sunny, but warm weather. Well, you know, I wish that was the case.
All right. Adam, are you in Delaware too?
No, oh no, it's because I'm in. Oh no, where it was raining today as well. And I will say, sorry, I will say that.
You want to be in Key Largo, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah, well, sorry your trip did. Well, sorry your trip to my homestay wasn't a good one.
Yeah, I hear you. We'll pick it up some other time. You guys be well, all right?
All right, we'll talk to you
Thank
next
you,
week.
Coach. It's always a pleasure.
Likewise. Take care,
Well,
man.
good luck.
See you,
Bye.
boys.
Good luck this weekend.
Bye. Later.
Bye. See you. That's Coach Matt Tyner, who a good friend of the program.
Yes.
Well, let's bring on the next good friend. We're running a little behind, so we'll get Bob Handley, hooking Bob Handley on after this gentleman. This is the head coach of Mount St. Mary's, the basketball team. We talked to him at the beginning of the year. Now we're going to talk to him towards the end of the year because it's March Madness. And Matt, speaking of March Madness, did you see the two buzzer beaters last night?
No, what games?
One was in the Atlantic Sun League.
Yes.
And it was Lilcomb, Northern Alabama beat Lipscomb.
Lipscomb?
Yeah, with a buzzer beater. And then East Kentucky lost by a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Eastern, and Eastern Kentucky was the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Oh, yeah, the 10 seed. Well, who beat them?
It was the team Jacksonville. Who only had 5 wins.
It was the
Well, yeah,
Jacksonville.
10 seed Jacksonville upset the 1 seed Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, let's bring in the coach of Mount St. Mary's, Coach Dan Engelstad, who I know he is getting ready for March Madness. Yeah, I know you're getting ready for some March Madness, there, buddy. You know, get some buzzer beaters, and have everybody and go on to the. You got the tournament next week in Atlantic City, but you got to finish firstly your last home game of the year.
Yeah, I wrote that on the board today. Just big old March. I mean, it is
There
the
you
best
go.
time
There you go.
to be playing basketball. I know you had me on here early in the year. I got more gray hair in my beard, and it's been a crazy.
It's all good. You're a good coach.
It's been a crazy season, but we are. We had a really good win over Niagara the other day, and guys are. We can compete with anyone in this conference, and when you got that hope and you got a chance to, play your best basketball these last. Week of the season, it's a fun and exciting time.
It is. It's going to be great, and this is what we play for: March Madness. You get to the chance to go to the big dance if you win your tournament, or you go down in history with the buzzer beaters, like we talked about a couple minutes ago with the East Kentucky losing at home to a buzzer beater. It's like like you're the number one seed in your whole conference, and you go right through your conference like you're like, it doesn't bother you, and you lose the first playoff game, and you're like, your season's done.
Yeah, well, March never fails, man. The pressure is a lot.
no.
It's going to take one night. It's going to take, one guy gets hot, and you can see it sometimes when those top seeds are playing. They get tight, and they're not in that situation a whole lot during the year. And but it's it's why the bracket is so fun. It's why this time of year is so fun. I love watching other conference tournaments. Was watching some tonight in my former league in the Northeast Conference, and
Yes.
Guys are competing, knowing that their basketball seasons and sometimes careers are on the line, and that's what we've kind of had it be about for us is our seniors. We want to give them everything we got and leave it all out there and empty the tank and have a chance to cut down nets, because there's no better feeling.
And your seniors had been there before, because I think during the pandemic they went to the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah, so we have a few guys on our roster still that have, been to March Madness and know what to expect in these type of environments and games. And, last year was our first year in the MAC, and now we're in more of a neutral site tournament down in Atlantic City. But we got one last home game, and Saturday should be a really fun environment. Chance to honor those seniors that we talked about, and when our place is rocking, man, it's as good as it gets. And I think it's going to be close to sold out on Saturday. So one more before we get to head out and try to win some games in Atlantic City.
Exactly. Let's go with Mr. March Madness, Matt. He loves March Madness. He called me up like in January. What are we doing for March? I'm like, really, dude? We just got done with New Year's Eve. Okay, coming down.
What's the plan? You guys have Vegas or something? What are we doing?
March is one of my favorite times of the year. I mean, it's definitely in that top three for sure. I mean, you can't beat March. I mean, March Madness is absolutely unbelievable. And to me, in my opinion, March Madness starts when the very first conference tournament started, which was from the Atlantic Sun Conference this year on this past Monday. So I know other people feel March Madness starts when the actual NCAA tournament starts and whatnot, but March Madness for me began this past Monday. So my question to you is, what's it going to take for your team to win the conference tournament?
Yeah, so we've been very consistently inconsistent this year. We are at times looking like the best team in the conference, and at times we've really struggled protecting the basketball and turning it over too much. And we've been in a lot of close games. We're 2-7 in those close games this year, decided by 5 points or less. So for us, it's executing late, making a couple big plays when you got to make those plays and big stops. And but I do see a spirit within our guys that they believe that they can do this. And it takes everybody believing, making some shots, and then at the end of the day, you got to get big stops on the defense end. And if we can do that and carry that over, we can win 4 games and be dancing. It's this group has that ability, has veteran leadership, has young talent, and I do think we've you can see it in practice. The last couple of weeks, we're getting better.
And now I know the brackets haven't come out yet or nothing. I know none of the conference tournaments have ended yet, but who are two teams that you think could win the whole thing and cut down the nets when the first weekend in April?
Yeah. I'm actually on a voting panel, so I've kind of look at all this every week, and I just got a feeling that Purdue's going to make a deep run. After their heartbreaker loss to FDU last year, kind of similar to what happened to UVA a couple of years ago. I can see them making a run. And then there's a lot of really good teams out there. I love the way that Houston gets after it defensively. I think they're just such a unique, team athletically. And I know they've gotten to the Final Four. Maybe this is the year where their toughness and physical defense can get them all the way, a deep run.
Hey, Coach, since you're on a voting panel, how far do you think my team can go, the North Carolina Tar Heels?
Yeah, I mean, they're as talented as any, and I think they can. They showed a couple of years ago with the deep run that they made that they can do it. And you still got guys like Baycoat You still got, as good a guard as anybody leading the way. So they're dangerous and they can make a deep run. And, but it's March. I wouldn't be surprised if they're one of the teams that goes down early because, March is unpredictable. So I can sit up here and talk, but, the one thing that you know about March is it's gonna break your heart. So.
It's called like this. It's called during the tournament, anybody beat anybody. I mean, over the years, we've seen 16 seeds knock off 1 seed, 15 seed knock off a 2 seed. It's like, and when everyone does their fantasy brackets, you always have those teams that people don't really choose, and they make a run. You think about St. Peter's,
they're in our league. St. Peter's is in our league.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I mean, you have those teams that could shock anybody, and I know a team that I think could shock some people out of your league, and that's Quinnipiac. Right now, they're in first place, and
I like to think that Mount St. Mary's could just the same. So,
of course. I mean.
Well, I agree with you. Mount St. Mary's all the way.
Quinnipiac is very good. They've got a lot of talented players for sure.
Yeah. So how cool would it be for you to play your tournament in Atlantic City next week?
Yeah, no, it's such a fun, experience for our guys. We stay in a really nice hotel. Accommodations are really, really good. So it feels like a high level. It's run at a high level. It kind of feels like a mini NCAA tournament, and our guys are know what's at stake and they're just fired up, but we can't look past Saturday. Saturday's such a big game for us.
Yes,
we want to get to 500 in league and, have that good momentum coming into Tuesday night. But, we're looking forward to it. And, it's all, I told our guys like that, it always goes by fast. And now we're at this moment and, that's why execution's so big and, not turning the ball over and getting the right shot up and playing good physical defense gives you a chance. And, we're trying to focus on those things so we can make a run here and have some fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like they all say, March is truly madness. I mean, it's unpredictable, and that's why everyone likes to watch March Madness, and they'll take time off from work and they'll do their brackets, and a lot of them truly get busted. So it's called it is what it is.
Yeah,
and that's why they said during the month of March, the productivity at organizations goes downhill. I mean, people might take off work, but people are at work and they might not be working. Okay,
that's true too, Matt.
Exactly.
So, Coach, I do have one more question. Do you think that there'll be another 15 or 16 seed that will win this year?
Yeah, you heard it here first. Mount St. Mary's going to do it. We didn't do enough in the regular season.
Okay.
16.
I'll hold you to that.
We're not scared of anybody, and neither will anybody from our league. So, we're going to try to be the representative, but let's say the MAC is probably going to, the way the league is shaped up, is probably going to be a fixed 15 or 16. So,
cool. Thank you for the tip, Coach.
There you go.
All right. Well, Coach, we got to run, but
Chris, happy birthday, man.
Thank you so much. And
fun to join with you.
Bring home a birthday win in the tournament and knock off, somebody's the number 16 seed, and we'll have a little party.
Let's do it, bro. All right, guys. Have a great night. Good chat.
All right. Talk to you later. See ya. Bye.
Thank Coach.
All right, Coach Dan Engelstad, who is the head coach of Mount St. Mary's. And before we bring this guy on, I think I have to bring in some of the old team music. You hear that?
Oh, yeah.
So that means we got we're going to do our Wayback File here. Gotta let the old music. I gotta let it go for a minute here. I remember the kids. People like me watching it on TV again, all the kids.
Chris, hey Chris, I mean, it is way back Wednesday, so why not?
They need. No offense to Fox and Tom Clark, you need a theme song.
Thank you.
It's
Like this.
it's terrible.
Thank
It's,
you.
it's
It's called.
nasty.
Oh,
Tom, if you're
Chris.
watching this program, you need help.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Chris, can I bring in our next guest?
yes, we'll bring in our next guest.
Our
All right.
next our next guest had a really cool nickname back in the day, and he won. One of his wins was in Hartford, Connecticut. So let's bring in, joining us from Pompano Beach, Florida, Hookin, Bob Handley. So Bob, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And what was it like to win in Hartford, Connecticut?
How are you?
Good. Did you hear the question that Adam asked? How was it like winning in Hartford? You know, your last title.
My last title was actually in Austin,
Okay,
Texas,
but on the
1990.
Austin. Okay, before that, you know, the one in Greater Hartford Open. So you bowled against Jimmy Keefe, and that.
Yeah. In fact, that tournament I had been knocked out of the Firestone Tournament of Champions a few weeks before that, and my wife and I had already planned a trip to Wisconsin to visit her father. And, well, I had to cancel the trip because I won the tournament, and I got to go to the Firestone that year.
Nice. Yeah, I found the footage of you bowling against Jimmy Keefe, you know, in 1987. And nice strike, dude. Really good strike to win the match there. And, you know, and was it like, but the reason why you're on the show here tonight, because I know you won this one in 1987, but I was looking around. Today's my birthday, and I'm 43 years old. And I'm like, let me see who has won titles in the Professional Bowlers Tour on my birthday. And I found this. I found you, you know, on March 6, 1982. You were down in Miami, you know, to bowl the Greater Miami Sunshine Open against Storm the Vincent. It was your second title. You know, you know, and what was it like winning your second title? You know, I was only 1 year old, so I had no idea who you were. I was still trying to figure out what I'm doing on this planet, you know, when I was 1 year old. Yeah, but you know, what was it like winning that tournament and winning your second title?
It was incredible. I mean, I had bowled well all week. And obviously, I was a leader going to the TV show, and I got on the TV show. It's kind of like, you know, you've won one title. I've won one title, and I want to, well, you know, kind of prove it was the first one wasn't a fluke. Win more than one. So I was bowling Storm, and he was bowling pretty well on the TV show. And through the first 5 or 6 frames, actually the first 5 frames, I was kind of lost on the lanes, and then I just kind of watched him throw one shot and moved my feet a little bit to the right and started throwing it farther to the right. Right. So, and I threw like the last 5 strikes to win. Unfortunately, he threw a gutter ball in the 10th frame, which didn't hurt. But I was ahead by 1 pin going to the 10th frame, and he threw a gutter ball, but he picked up the spare, so I still had a mark, and I threw a strike. So, yeah, it was exciting. In fact, that trophy, which is a large piece of cypress.
Yeah, I saw that on the video. I was like, wow, that thing must be a hard thing to get you through customs back then, you know? That
piece of wood, that piece of cypress spent 3 months in Mike Aldy's van.
Really?
Wow.
Nice.
That's what I was riding with at the time. And, you know, I didn't have any, I couldn't ship it home. I mean, God, it would cost a fortune.
Right, exactly.
So just rested along the side of his van, and he had it in his van until like May, when he came by Kansas City and picked me up to head out to the summer or the spring tour that year.
Nice, that's awesome. Matt, you got a question for Bob?
Yeah. So what all goes into winning one of these titles?
Well, fortunately, I was exempt back then. They had a field of 192, I think, in Miami.
Okay.
And sometimes at that time they would get over 200, maybe 250 entries, and especially in a tournament like that. And it was in March, the first part of March in Florida, and that attracted a lot of people from the Northeast who wanted to get out of the snow. So they would come down and bowl in Florida, obviously, to get out of the snow, and we'd have a rabbit squad, which they would have so many spots. You have approximately 75 exempt players every week, and then the rest of the spots.
Sorry.
Yeah, they were a free qualifying tournament that was on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bowled the practice session, and then we had a pro-am, which we bowled the amateurs. They had squads from like 1 o'clock to like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
We bowled that, and then Wednesday morning started the qualifying, and you bowled. We had 2 squads, A and B, and A squad bowled 9 o'clock to 1. Bowled 6 games. Later that evening, like at 4:30, I believe, and bowled 6 more. And B squad would bowl after us, and then the next morning we came back and bowled 6 more games Thursday morning, and B squad bowled 6 games, and they cut the field to the top 24. And then Thursday night we started with 24 match games, which round robin match play,
Right.
which means you bowl everybody once, and then the final position round game at the end. And I mean it. And I remember that tournament because I was up and down. I was in first, I was in second, third, fourth, and I go back up to second or third. And Friday night, kind of took over the lead, and I remember going like this. I think it was like the 16th Friday night. We only had 2 more games after that.
Mm-hmm.
I shot 279, I think. And I thought, well, that should have separated me from the rest of the field. And I looked up and stormed it and shot 277. So I mean, I picked up 2 pins. It was still pretty tight up until I think the 7th game. The next game, I shot like 220, 230 and won, and he shot 190 and lost. So that was a big difference. They picked me up like 50 or 60 pins.
Yeah.
So I was like 100 pins ahead of him going to the last game. So it would have been hard for him to catch me. But anyway, I remember, obviously making the TV show, that's like that was always really a big accomplishment for me. Maybe that was part of my problem. I kind of relaxed after I made the TV show, but it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. Well, Bob, I want to let you go because we're up against the clock here, but thank you so much for coming on my birthday show, and it's great to know that somebody won a title on my birthday. And
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. And we'll talk a little more down the road, okay?
All right, feel free to call.
All right, Bob, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
I'd see you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's Hookin' Bob Handley here on the show. The reason why we're speeding up because I'm supposed to get a phone call from Jamaica around 10:15 because my parents are on vacation right now. So
really? Your father and mother are going to call you?
Yeah, they're telling me we'll call you after 10. I was like, well, I'm on the show until 10:15. So, Adam, you want to bring this last gentleman?
Sure. Our next guest finished second in the Delaware class, and he is an international star from this country of Finland, where it's probably really, really early over there for him right now. So joining us on the show is the 2nd place finisher of the Delaware Classic, and he also is on the PBA Elite League. So let's bring in, joining us from his home country of Finland, where it has produced legendary bowlers in Mika Koivuniemi, is Tomas Käyhkö. So Tomas, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's real early for you over there in Finland. So what's it like to participate in a PBA Elite League.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
The PBA League, it's exciting, yeah, but it's also hard when you get only like a couple shots a game. So it's feel like it's pretty exciting, and it's always takes little time to loosen up. So it's hard to get only a couple shots a game, but it's really exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, talk about Sunday. You're the tournament leader this past Sunday. How hard is it to sit there and wait for your turn to come on TV? Because a lot of people say when you're a tournament leader, it feels like forever. You're getting on the air. It's like you're like waiting the bowl. Yeah. What did you do to keep yourself loose, ready to go, knowing that your time will be coming soon?
You mean between the shots, or?
Yeah, between the matches, you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. You're like,
between the matches.
I'm waiting.
There's like a practice pairs that we can use. So I just was looking a little bit of the other matches and a little bit what they're doing to the lanes and how they're transitioning, and try to just keep me loose by throwing some shots on the practice pairs.
Yeah, that's true. Adam, you got a question for Tomas?
I mentioned another bowler from Finland, Mika Koivuniemi. So, did you ever get a chance to watch him compete when he was over here in the States competing on the PBA Tour?
Yeah, I watched him on YouTube when I was a little kid. So he was kind of my idols growing up, and also, of course, Osku Palermo was there.
Osku, yes.
Yeah. So he was other one, but yeah, I watched them a lot on YouTube and saw a little bit on the Bowlmaster Open in Finland, but not much else in here. But watched them on YouTube a lot.
Cool. I know that Finland gets a lot of snow. So in your off time when you're in Finland, do you ever get a chance to go skiing or snowboarding?
Yeah, I don't snowboard, but I go skiing sometimes. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So what time is it over there?
It's 5 a.m. right now, so it's
I am
pretty
so
early.
sorry.
But I did wake up already at 3:30 a.m. and didn't sleep after that. So
well, we thank you for waking up with us.
We appreciate you staying up late with us.
Yes.
With the time zones and all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to get people on.
Yeah, there was a little jet lag, so I woke up anyway. So it wasn't a big thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Matt has a question. Matt,
what are something? Chris, were you talking?
I said, go ahead, Matt. Ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, what are some things that you could have done differently to have a different outcome with that match?
I feel like I threw the wrong ball on the right lane. Felt like it was a little too responsive, and felt like I wasn't really. It looked all right on the practice shots, but then it didn't on the game, and felt like I didn't really know what it's gonna do, and threw a couple of bad shots, but I felt like it wasn't the right ball. I would throw the same ball I threw on the left lane. I tried it on the field ball and it looked all right, but felt like it wasn't the right ball.
Okay.
Cool. So, what's the future for you? I know you're on the you're bowling in the league, with the folks in Chicago. What's the future hold for you for the rest of the second half of the season?
Yeah, I'm couple weeks in Finland, and then the USBC Masters, the World Series, and then the TOC. Try to get into the TOC from the PTQ.
Okay.
Hope to see you hope to see you in Akron for the TOC, Tomas,
Yeah.
because I'm planning on going there.
Oh, really?
At least for the weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing you compete in the PB Elite League.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming up. Thanks for getting up with us, and I hope the weather is nice there today for you guys there. And what's the temperature out there in Finland right now?
It's about like 0 Celsius, so I think it's
that's too cold for me.
About
yeah.
Okay. It's been about the same at times over there too. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work, and we'll hope to get you on when you're here in the States. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's nice visiting on your show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Tomas.
See you, man.
Yeah. See you.
See you. All right. That's a international interview there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we're going to wrap up the show here on my birthday, and I do want to do one tribute to before we go here. I did get an early birthday gift yesterday, Matt.
From who?
The team from Queens yesterday, sir. We beat
no!
The B squad beat the B squad.
No, but you know what? I've got to say that's preseason, and that does not count.
It's
I
always
know
been
it doesn't count, but I got to put it on there. I have to put some salt on the wounds there. You know,
It's all right, because you know what? We would give you guys the preseason wins all day long. As long as we get the wins during the regular season, then that's fine.
Yeah, so Mets won 5-4 yesterday. And also, before we go, I can put some stuff today. I found, you know who also bowled, I know we should have got on our show, who won a title on my birthday? Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
He did.
Yeah, he won the Flagship City Open in 1993 on my birthday.
Oh, nice. Huh.
Yep, little old Walter there. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's young Walter.
Yeah. He beat a good friend John Mazda. Yeah, in the final.
Yeah.
And that year they had the King of the Hill.
That's right.
I remember that King of the Hill.
I never liked that. I never liked the King of the Hill. I don't know why.
I loved it. At first I thought it was stupid, and then it grew in on me. So I was like, this is cool. Yeah. Also, you know, I was looking at, you know, like on this day on my birthday, like music history.
Yeah.
This guy did a really good job on the week I was born. I want to give this guy a credit. You know, you probably hear him on the Volkswagen commercials. But our good friend Neil Diamond, you know, was cleaning up, dude. Yeah, let me play real quick here. He had the number 14 song in the country.
Hello again. I love that.
Hello again.
Oh, yes.
Hello again.
Yeah,
Hello.
during the week of my birthday, Matt, March 6th.
Wow.
Yeah, and then on the number 26 song was "Love on the Rocks."
Nice.
Love on the Rocks. There ain't no surprise.
And then he had the third best album in the country, and on the week at the end of February 28th through March 7th.
Wow.
Yeah, so the jazz singer did well. Movie sucked.
Hey guys, when I go to TOC at the end of April, me and my friends who normally I see when I go up to Portland, Maine every year, we're all going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
So
you might see a Neil Diamond
yeah, because there's like several floors of like
he's a Hall of Famer too.
And costumes, and it's like I can finally go see Aerosmith stuff since, you know, Aerosmith's from New England like I am. I get to go see the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Neil Diamond. I'll be like, and yes, I'll be taking pictures. So
nice.
It'll be good.
Well, I do have to leave the show tonight with a sad note. Adam, you probably don't know. Matt knows. I lost one of my aunts this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was battling Parkinson's, and we all know about Neil Diamond having Parkinson's, but she had blood clots that basically got really bad, and she passed away. So this show goes out to her tonight because I know her, her family's, my cousins are, grieving.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a picture of my aunt there. She looks like my mother. If you see it, if you take a picture of my mom, they're not twins. It's funny. Yeah. So
and also guys, ESPN lost a great NFL contributor in Chris Mortensen as well.
Right. Yeah. So I want to leave you. I want to have a moment of silence here because I found it. I know you might cry during the song, but yeah, you probably know what this song is. So hold on.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your love pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how we feel so much, we cannot say a word. No, we are screaming inside, oh, we can't be heard. And I will remember you.
See you later, folks.
See you, folks.
See you next week. We'll have a good program, but it's a little hard to say goodbye. Yeah, but just by way of saying bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, folks.
See you.